All right, well, Health Canada has come up with new regulations as of January 1st, Some new front of package food labels are now in effect, but there are a lot of questions and maybe even some confusion about these new labels, why Health Canada decided to do this, how it's going to help Canadians, in terms of what you choose to eat, and also how do we interpret those labels? So to help answer those questions, we're joined live this morning by Michelle Jalen, registered dietitian and media nutrition expert. Michelle, good to have you back on CP24 Breakfast this morning. You got some breakfast foods, some sort of a range of foods here today. First of all, why have these labels changed? What is Health Canada sort of trying to achieve here?
Yes, so these food labels were meant to help Canadians make more informed choices and to help reduce the risk of chronic disease. Now, these food labels show the 3 S's of nutrients. I call them saturated fat, sugars, and sodium. And consumers can use them to make quick comparisons between products in the same category in the grocery store.
Yeah, they're not quite as jarring, for example, as the tobacco, warnings on a cigarette, but they are, giving you a sense of what could potentially not be perhaps as good for you or in too much, I suppose, beyond moderation. So let's talk a bit about the labels. We're taking a look at this pea soup, for example, right now here. This label, could we talk a bit about that one, I guess, in specifics?
So when it comes to front of package labels, I say use them as a tool, not a rule. So what it does is it shows you it has a high in sodium, but what I want to do to make a full assessment of whether or not a product is good for me is I want to look at the nutrition facts panel to decide whether or not it would be suitable for me. So in this case, here I have the soup, and on the nutrition facts panel, it also says it's high in fiber and protein at 8 grams of each. So I think about who this might be good for, and it could be good for somebody who can't make soups from scratch, to maybe someone who needs more protein and more fiber in their diet. A good population before maybe for seniors who probably can't cook a soup from scratch at home. And that's a way to make an assessment of whether or not something is good enough for you, is you want to look beyond the front of package label.
And the label shouldn't scare you off, I think, is what you're saying here, that just because it has a label doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for you. It's just giving you some guidance, right?
Yeah, and we say is when it comes to food packages, don't judge a book by its cover. It's the same idea right here.
Yeah.
So there are foods that are exempt from it too, and those are things like whole fruits and vegetables, things like plain yogurt and milk, raw meats, so you won't see labels on those too. Also very small packages like mini chocolate bars, you won't see them on those either because they're too small.
Right.
These food labels must meet certain size and visibility requirements so people see them when they go and they look in the grocery store.
That's good. The exemptions are key because, I was joking when I came in, like, where do you put it on some red leaf lettuce? Obviously, you can't do that, but obviously red leaf lettuce, generally speaking, I think accepted. It's good for you.
Yeah.
There's probably not a lot that's detrimental, but how should we really interpret them to kind of make our best decisions when it comes to, I'm going to pick this over that?
Yes, so you can use them to make comparisons between products. So if you have 2 kinds of cereal, you can say, okay, this one has a front of package label saying high in sugar, this one doesn't, and that could help you make a quick assessment. But you want to focus on your own personal nutrition goals. Just because something has a front of package label on it saying it's high in sugar, it still might be okay for you depending on your preferences, your cultural context, and your health goals.
Yeah.
You want to choose foods that support your health but also bring you joy.
Yeah, we had you on a few years ago, Michelle, again, talking about changes to food packaging labels. In your time as a nutritionist, a nutrition expert and someone who talks to people about this, what is your sense of the actual level of understanding of your average consumer when it comes to, I see this is high in sugar, I'm just going to put that back down? Like, do people connect it quickly or do they go deeper like you're sort of encouraging us to do?
So I'd say always check the nutrition facts panel and to assess whether or not it's right for you. That's what a lot of people should be doing and checking. So even if it's high in sugar, check the other ingredients on the list. Maybe for sugar, it might come from a natural source, or it might not be super high and as high in sugar as depending on other things. So I'd say always look at the ingredients list as well to make those comparisons.
And the way these are on the package, they're black and white. They sort of stand out from the nice colors, et cetera, that the companies have come up with to sort of try to market these. Do you think that's visible enough? Do you think that's sending the message enough to people that it's going to catch people's attention? Or do you think they're just going to look at, hey, I want my apple cinnamon Cheerios, and people may not know? Like, are you concerned that they're not necessarily predominant enough?
I am not concerned because they do have to meet certain size requirements.
Okay.
And that's why you don't have them on really small packages, and they have to be a certain size for visibility so people can see them and that it's clear and you can catch it when you pick up a product in the grocery store.
Right, absolutely. Okay, well, listen, appreciate this because I think a lot of people are going to be seeing these on store shelves if they haven't maybe done a grocery shop in 2026. You're going to start seeing these in the stores. Michelle Jalen, thanks for the time this morning. Appreciate you helping kind of walking us through these new guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.